All right. Hello there, folks. Thank you so much for joining in here today for a Top Producer webinar. I'm your host, Spencer, with our customer success team here at Top Producer. And this is going to be getting started with Top Producer X CRM. So whether you're a brand new Top Producer user altogether and you're excited to get started, configure your CRM, get it ready for prime time, or maybe you're a Top Producer user for years and you've just made the switch over to X and you want to make sure that your X version of your CRM is good to go. This is a show for you because we're going to walk through some key points for setup, configuring all the different settings, connect your email, MLS, all that kind of stuff, just so that your CRM is then ready for usage. Don't worry, we have plenty of resources for after this show, including our Thursday follow-up show, which is 4 things you'll want to know after you set up Top Producer X. You can join myself and Marvin, my co-host, to learn more there. You can always contact us as well. So before we get started, just going to walk through some administrative items here. As mentioned, this is Getting Started with TPX. I'm your host, Spencer, and I'm joined by my friend and colleague, Marvin LaRosa from our research team. Marvin is in the live chat along with me on both Zoom and YouTube. And that being said, all Top Producer webinars are interactive. So guys, if you'd like to join in, ask any questions, have any comments along the way, we'd love to hear from you guys. If you're on Zoom, just use the chat feature or the Q&A feature, and that will get you in touch with us. Or if you're on YouTube, just make sure you're logged in with a Google account, and that's going to allow you to comment there. So anything you want to share along the way, perhaps to start things off, let us know where you're coming from today if you'd like, where you're located, how long you've been doing real estate for, even how long you've been using Top Producer for. And anything you'd like to share along the way would be nice to hear from you guys, just so we know who we're presenting to today and chatting with today. All right. And at the same time, guys, feel free to let me know in the chat if the audio and video is okay, if the audio volume is loud enough and things like that. I would appreciate any feedback on there as well, on that as well, I should say. But yeah, hopefully you guys are ready to learn. I know I've got my iced coffee here ready to go. So let's go ahead and dig in. What I want to do just really quick, guys, actually before we get started is let you know that we have tons of options for contacting us. In case you need some help after the show, that's exactly what our customer care team is here for. You can use the live chat in the bottom right corner of your CRM or any Top Producer product for that matter to get in touch with us. Just click on the little speech bubble button that'll connect you with a rep instantly. You can also call us at 1-800-830-8300. Both of those options are available Monday to Friday from 7:30 a.m. till 4 p.m. in Pacific Standard Time. I know we have a lot of Eastern Standard Time customers, so for you guys that would be 10:30 a.m. till 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can also email our help desk at support@topproducer.com. I do kind of recommend against that at this time. They're still trying to catch up on some emails after the holidays, so for immediate support, highly recommended that you use the live chat or give us a call for now. And so this, you can reach us for anything from coaching to account, billing inquiries, tech support, questions, whatever you want. Just that one number, that one live chat can get you in touch with us for just about anything. All right, guys. So what we're going to do is go over 4 key points here, go through Top Producer X's settings, talk about what each of the features do and how to set them up so that you're ready to go in and use them afterwards. Obviously, it has to be configured for you and your business and your credentials and things like that. So we have to walk through that. We'll talk about ways to build your database from, importing a spreadsheet with your contacts, using our contact sync to bring in contacts from an email service or maybe a combination of both. We'll talk about using the follow-up coach, which is a great built-in feature that can help you get on track with your database and stay on track. It provides an area of focus. 5 contacts a day is its core concept, and you can use it as you see fit, but it's highly recommended for an agent at any point in their business and their experience and any point in their Top Producer usage as well. It's a feature that is just universally useful, I should say. And then we'll just finish off by providing some resources and once again reiterating how to get in contact with us. So just really quick here in the chat, we have Lori Breckler. Lori from Tennessee, licensed and active since 1998. Awesome, Lori. Thanks for joining in today. Good to have you here. Excited to show you how to get started with Top Producer X. And guys, just a heads up, just a reminder, this is just a getting started show. So we're just going to be covering the basics of configuring the settings. We'd love to connect with you afterwards for some one-on-one coaching to really talk about how to utilize this for your business needs. But that being said, if you watch the show today, you can't go too wrong because you're going to learn how to make sure what all the different features and settings in Top Producer X do, and that you're ready to use them. So yeah, and if you'd like to, if you're someone that's interested in switching from Top Producer 8i Classic to Top Producer X, please note we actually have a separate show for that purpose and showing you the benefits of switching to the new version, which is there's no charge or anything like that. It's just you click a button and you're in the new version essentially. So yeah, I believe that should be tomorrow. Maybe Marvin can confirm that for me. It should be on our webinar schedule. I believe it's tomorrow. I might be wrong though. So guys, just before we really jump in, I want to show you what it looks like to get started with your Top Producer X if you're a brand new customer. So if you've just signed up, you'd be looking for an email, and I have a demo here for you in just a second. And actually, just really quick, Lori is asking in the chat, do you have to switch? And Lori, absolutely don't have to switch. You can actually just tap into X and try it out and then jump back to 8i. You can have them actually both open at the same time if you really wanted to, and perfectly fine. There's no plans to phase out Top Producer 8i, so that remains. So if there's something that you're comfortable with doing in 8i, I would say please keep doing that. That being said, there are tons of great features in X that I think most realtors out there can benefit from, especially the more modern email integrations, fast and stable MLS connectivity and things like that. So yeah, definitely some great benefits to use X for, and maybe just dip into, and then while you're still kind of getting used to that transition. So, but no rush. Yeah, so let me give you guys a quick demo of what it looks like to find that first welcome email when you just signed up. You want to be looking for an email that says activate your new Top Producer account. Should be coming from do not reply at topproducer.com as far as I know. But yeah, activate your new Top Producer account. So if you're a brand new user, just signed up maybe the other day or a week ago or even today, this is what you'll want to find. Your login credentials will be in the middle of the email there. There's some links down below for resources, but for now, just click on Get Started. That's going to bring you to the login page. Just fill in your new credentials to get logged in. You can always use the forgot password feature to reset your password later. Not a big deal. You can do that anytime. For now, let's go ahead and see what it looks like to sign in. So when you sign in for the first time, you will be met with the subscriber agreement page. This is the end user license agreement. This is the binding contract, for Top Producer. It's pretty standard for any software company to have something like this. So if you're not sure what this entails, such as the 3-day money back guarantee, 30-day trial period, and then the 1-year term, after that, I highly recommend that you reach out to your sales rep to discuss that further. But that being said, if you are okay with that, onto the next screen here, we're at the My Information page where you can fill out your CRM's profile. If you have Market Snapshot, which is an add-on for TPX, it would be beneficial to fill this out sooner than later. But if you don't have Market Snapshot, not a big deal. You can come back and fill this out anytime. So it's going to ask us if we'd like to import or add contacts. For now, let's just take a look and see what it would look like to add a contact. So let me jump into my Top Producer X here and show you that screen in just one sec. All right, so here's Top Producer X, and here's that add contact screen that you would see when you click on add contact. So good to just add a single contact at the very least until we talk about importing contacts later. And this gives us an opportunity to talk about some key points for contact management, pipeline management, and organizing your contacts. It's good to get into the habit from the get-go. So in this example here, let's just pretend that I'm adding a past client that I just closed with, let's say maybe a week ago or something, right? We'd go ahead and fill in their information here. So I'm just going to say John Dosen, just as a kind of make-believe thing here. You'd want to fill in probably at least their basic information like a mobile number and a email address. And then you can fill out their address if you want, websites. You can always come back here and edit things anytime. Just as a rule of thumb in Top Producer X, most times you can just come back later and add additional information. You don't have to add everything right off the bat. That goes for transaction records as well, which we talk about more in our Thursday show. But what I really want to stop and pause and talk about for a second here is contact status and contact types, because not only is this good for new users, but it's just good to refresh on this if you are an experienced Top Producer user, because pipeline management is one of the things that I do frequently see people needing coaching just for proper CRM usage and benefit the most from your CRM, definitely good to be using your pipeline the way it's meant to be used from the get-go, but also customizing it to your liking and to how you run your business using contact types. So just a quick little run through here. Contact status, the best way to think of it is simply just a sales pipeline. You want to move your contacts from left to right, from new to closed, and that's it basically. And if they get stuck at future partway through, maybe they're a long-term prospect, that's okay. They can sit there for as long as needed. So new here is for your brand new leads, people that you haven't contacted yet. An example of this might be, you have your online lead sources, realtor.com, Zillow, etc., hooked up to your CRM to send leads in. Those new leads are going to land in new, signifying that they have not been actioned upon yet, right? So then the idea here is after you follow up with them or even attempt follow up, maybe you left them a voicemail. That's okay. You want to switch them to engage, which is followed up but not yet qualified. So this is that in-between phase. You're still trying to see if this is a viable prospect. It could be a buyer that you're not sure if they're just browsing for fun. You're not sure if they're even going to be qualified for a mortgage, things like that. It could be a seller that maybe they're just seeing what the market's like, right? You're not sure if they're going to list yet with you, that kind of thing, right? You're trying to convert that lead essentially. So from engage, there's usually two ways that your lead will go, either from engage to future, meaning they're a long-term opportunity. This could mean, like I said, you find out they're months or even years away from wanting to buy or sell. And this is just generally where your sphere of influence will sit as well. So it's okay to have a bunch of contacts in future. If you think about it from a sort of optimistic sales perspective, pretty much everyone is a future prospect, right? If they're not a current one. So that's the best way to think about that. If you do convert that engaged lead to a current client, a current opportunity, that's exactly what active is for. You switch them to active so that, at a glance, you see who your current opportunities are versus your future ones, etc. And then once you close with that active client, you just switch them to closed. It just means you completed a transaction, that's all. And they can sit there for as long as they need. The CRM is still going to help you stay in touch with them, just on a different sort of time frame. But then every step of the way through the pipeline, you'll want to be making use of contact types. So in this example here, I said I was going to pretend to add a past client that I just closed with. Well, seeing as it was just a week ago, I probably just want to select closed, and then I want to add some relevant contact types. So there's a bunch of built-in ones, and you can also add whatever you want here. It's very flexible. So I'm going to go with the good old past client. This is just a general past client tag. So that means once I tag someone with this, I know that I've worked with them at least once, right? I've closed with them at least once. And that's a category that I can pull up anytime. Maybe I want to send an email off to all my past clients and wish them a Merry Christmas or Happy New Year or something like that. You can definitely do that. Maybe I want to get more specific. I want to say this was a past buyer. Well, I can just go ahead and add that type. As you can see here, add past buyer, and I can just add that type. I've already added it though, so I'm just going to go ahead and click on it. Anything else that you think is relevant? Maybe they were a referral. I can go ahead and tag them with referral as well. And then maybe they were a friend of a friend. I can go ahead and tag them with that as well. So as you can see, contact types very open-ended and very flexible. And I highly, highly recommend you take massive advantage of them. Use them however you see fit. The more the merrier, because you're just going to have more control and power over your database this way. So closed, bunch of good contact types. That looks good to me. I could set the source if I want, or for now, I'm just going to go down. Excuse me, I'm going to go down to save contact, I should say. So we have our brand new contact record here, guys. So on the left side, you have the contact's basic information, their name, phone number, email address, etc. You have all those contact types. You see who it's assigned to, which is important if you're on a team. Down the middle here, you have these different tabs, which you can use to navigate through the record. And so by default, you'll always be on the dashboard page, which is great because it just shows you some vital information at a glance, such as what their status is in your pipeline, when the last touch was and what it was, such as creating the contact, sending an email, saving a note, finishing a task, that kind of thing. Next important date shows you just the next upcoming important date, such as an anniversary or birthday. And then most recent notes just shows you the last 3 notes for this contact. You can always, of course, go to your whole note section to see everything. And you can, of course, go to your important date section to see all those as well, and so on and so forth. Very easy to navigate through the record here to get to where you need to go. We like to call this the 360 contact view because you have access to just about everything for this person in just a click or two. And yeah, that's just a quick overview of the contact record. So hopefully that gives you some insight into what to look for when adding a new contact, how to categorize them. And like I said, the more contact types, the more power you're going to have over your database to organize them and pull up the lists you need right when you need them. So to find out more about that, guys, make sure you join us for our Thursday show. 4 things you want to know after you set up TPX. You can access it via the webinar schedule, which Marvin can link you to in the chat. But for now, guys, since we're finished that little intro of getting logged in, creating your very first contact, it's time to jump into the settings and walk you through that, show you what that looks like. So guys, we're gonna go down to the settings button in the bottom left corner of TPX. If you don't see your settings button, it may be because if you're like, you may be on like a smaller computer, like a smaller monitor, you might just want to adjust your zoom settings in your browser. Click on the top right corner button and then just to try adjusting the zoom level down to 90% if you have any of those buttons cut off there. Just a little tip. But for now, let's go down to settings. So right off the bat, we land on the My Information page. So this is the same profile that you set up when you first log in. As you can see, you can edit it anytime just by clicking on Edit My Info. And you can upload images, company logos. This is for your Market Snapshot report if you have Market Snapshot. Market Snapshot is an add-on for TPX that lets you send out targeted, custom real estate market reports to just about anyone. So you obviously want your branding on there to represent you as much as possible. And that's what this is for. So if you have Market Snapshot, I recommend taking the time sometime later to fill this all out as much as possible. Social media links, website, contact information, that kind of stuff. For the images, try to keep the images smaller. If you have huge, high-resolution images, you may need to shrink those down first and then try uploading them. There is a 1.3 megabyte limit on the photos. It'll let you know if it's too big, though, when you try to save it. But yeah, after you make any changes here, set your color theme for your market snapshot, make sure your time zone is good, and then save my info. So after that, guys, up next is calendar sync. And this is a great little feature for using technology that you've probably already been using for years on your smartphone or your computer, such as Google Calendar, Office 365 Calendar, Outlook Calendar, Apple Calendar, that kind of thing. You can make use of this to integrate with those services so that when you book an appointment in Top Producer, it's going to be right on your third-party calendar. And then, you can just be reminded from your phone as you normally do, right? So highly recommend this one. Let me just log out and log back in here just to refresh this because I want to show you what it looks like starting from scratch. There we go. So as you can see, it supports Gmail, Google Apps, Outlook, Office 365, and Apple's iCalendar. So you want to take a moment to think about what calendar service it is that you actually use. If you open your phone, maybe check, are you using Google Calendar? Are you using your iPhone's built-in calendar? You want to find out which service that is being synchronized to. You can also check on your computer. If you think you're using a Google Calendar, you could go to calendar.google.com or you can go to your Outlook account and view your calendar there. You just want to confirm which calendar service it is that you're actually using across your platforms because that would be the best one to integrate here. And if you're not sure about that, guys, please don't hesitate to reach out to our customer care team. We can troubleshoot that with you and help you figure that out and help you make the right choice there. What I'm going to do in this example is put in a Gmail account as demonstration and then click authorize. So let's go next and then enter your password next. Oops, I did that wrong. All right, let's try that again. All right, so then we click on the account for the Google account in this case. If it's your first time doing this, it's going to have a couple different checkboxes that go down the side here, asking for permissions to access your calendar. You'll just need to make sure all those checkboxes are filled in before clicking continue, or else it just won't work. So it takes us back here, and it takes a few seconds. So I only have one calendar category in this account, so it's just showing me just my address there. If you have multiple calendars in your account, like one for birthdays and holidays, maybe someone shared a calendar with you and your team, that kind of thing, you will actually have to choose which one you want to sync because you can only synchronize one category at a time. Usually, you probably want this just to be your default one, and then start sync. And this will start the sync process. it should say running, which means it's connected and it's starting to work. It should bring over your calendar appointments from your third-party calendar and push them from your top producer to your third-party calendar as well. Any new appointments you add should show up there rather quickly. And so a great way to supplement your task management in TPX, because Top Producer X, like any good CRM, does have its own task management system that you should be using day in and day out to schedule your follow-ups, reminders, all that kind of stuff for your contacts so that everything is in one place. That being said, obviously, you don't want to miss out on your most time-sensitive appointments. And that's exactly where the calendar sync comes in to remind you when you're on the go. Once again, making use of that technology that you've probably been already using for years on your smartphone. So next up, guys, we're going to skip contact sync and import contacts just for now. Come back to that later when we talk about building our database. So let's jump down to email integration next. So email integration, this is one I recommend setting up as soon as possible because it lets you take advantage of all the great emailing features in Top Producer X. So sending and receiving emails, viewing email history, email tracking is included so you can see who's opening your emails that you've sent through Top Producer. And it's coming from your address, not from us, but actually truly from your Gmail, from your Outlook, from whatever kind of email service you're using. And the deliverability is going to be excellent because of that. Your clients are going to recognize who it is instantly, so on and so forth. And so we do support lots of different big names here: Google, Office 365, Outlook, Exchange, Yahoo, as well as pretty much almost any IMAP email, as long as you have these settings for that. So what you do here is similar to the countersync. You enter your address in here, authorize the email, follow the steps, allow any permissions that are not already allowed by default, and you should have it up and running in no time. And so if you're using maybe like a brokerage provided email, maybe they have their own server hosted, maybe it's not quite a Google account or Outlook account, but it's just their own thing, chances are you'll need the IMAP settings for something like that. I would recommend reaching out to, like a system administrator, maybe you have an IT guy or something like that, or maybe even your manager might be aware of those settings. But I know a lot of the brokerages nowadays are using the big names like Google and Microsoft. So chances are you just put that address in, follow the steps, and you should have that integrated in no time. But guys, just like anything you're seeing here today, if you need any assistance, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We'd much rather know that you're having an issue, and that we'd love to help you get that solved as soon as possible. So live chat, give us a heads up, give us a call at the 1-800 number. We can walk you through any of this that you might need help with. So after you add, it's worth noting, you can actually integrate more than one email here as well. So if you use multiple emails for your real estate business, or maybe you want to integrate, let's say, your assistant's email as well, or something like that, you can just keep repeating this process to add additional emails, and you can toggle between them anytime. Yeah, so next up, email signatures. This is where you would go to add an email signature onto an account that you've integrated. By default, it'll say has signature or no. You just have to click on this or click on the pencil icon to bring up the editor, and you can work on your signature here. So as you can see, you can format it in different ways. You can insert images, hyperlinks, and things like that. So if you have an existing signature in your Google account or Outlook account or something, try copying and pasting that over. If it doesn't work, I do recommend trying to piece it in, without images first. And then try uploading the images manually using the insert image button. That seems to work a lot better. You can also try right-clicking and pasting as plain text to bring in your signature without any formatting, and then work on it within the editor. Within a few minutes, you should have your signature up and running. But as usual, if you need any help, guys, please just reach out to us. So up next, we have lead providers. This is where you go to access your CRM's lead parsing address, otherwise known as the myleads.io address. And so what this is for is, if you have an online lead provider, it could be a website of yours where someone fills out a form. It could be realtor.com, Zillow, Trulia, Homelight, etc. Pretty much many online lead sources follow the same protocols. We support over 150 different lead sources officially, and you can see them by clicking on this link here. And then what you do is to get those leads flowing from your lead provider into your top producer automatically, you just copy this address here and then follow these steps. And we even have a little guide you can click on with a video to learn more about setting up lead integration here. As you can see, it walks you through step by step about how to set that up, and gives you a little demo there. So I highly recommend that. You want to put this into your lead notification settings or lead forwarding settings to make sure that your leads go to your myleads.io address, and then they'll show up under the new status in your top producer automatically. So if given the choice, I recommend having it go to your standard email account so that you receive that email notification, and then also go to your top producer account so you get that contact created for you automatically. Now, if you have 5Street, which is our other program for real estate lead aggregation, automated lead responses, and lead routing for teams, in that case, you don't want to use this myleads.io address. You want to use 5Street's equivalent called the 5street.me address. So to learn more about that, just give us a call and we can walk you through the setup process for that. Yeah. So next up, guys, Market Snapshot. This is where you go to change the Market Snapshot settings. If you have our Top Producer Professional bundle that includes Market Snapshot, as I mentioned earlier, it allows you to send out custom market reports to pretty much anyone. So for an example, you can send it to a buyer, and that way they could browse through properties, see what's on the market, and it kind of locks them into working with you, because anytime they want to learn more, it's always going to contact you. They click on call, it's going to call you. They click on email, it's going to email you. And so you can get all this valuable data about what they're doing, how many times they've clicked into it, what they're clicking on, what they're viewing, what they're inquiring about. So it's really great because it can cement you as their go-to real estate agent, and it's providing them a ton of value all at once. So it's kind of a win-win all around. So Market Snapshot, this is where you modify the settings. If you're a new user, I do usually recommend just leaving this all on, unless you live in an area where there's certain rules and regulations about showing certain kind of listing statuses and stuff like that. You can turn things off as necessary and then save your info at the bottom. But usually I recommend just leaving everything on. There's also the listing alert settings. So Market Snapshot is best thought of as a two-part thing. The first thing is, the main part of it is a Market Snapshot report. It's a graphical report that they can click on things, they can browse, they can send inquiries to, so on and so forth, see pictures of properties, all that data. But then in addition to that, they get a daily listing alert email, which keeps them up to date with daily market activity. So just listed, price change, and just sold, you can control what the defaults are. But don't worry, you can change this per person anyway when you're making the snapshot. And you can also change this on the fly. If, let's say, they don't want a certain one, you can just turn it off for them after anyway. By default, this will be a summary email once a day. You can switch it to real time, but just please note that depending on your market, this could potentially kind of spam your recipient. So just please be careful with that. You guys know your area, your market better than I would. And so I would say I'll leave that up to you though. Yeah. And if you want to view a sample, just click on view sample, and this will just show you a little demo Market Snapshot here. So to learn more about Market Snapshot, feel free to reach out in the chat. If you don't have Market Snapshot and you'd like to, perhaps get a demo of that and see if it's a good fit for you, just reach out in the chat. Marvin and I would be happy to get you in touch with someone. So up next, guys, is MLS Credentials. So MLS Credentials, if you have Market Snapshot, you will need to set this up. Connect your MLS and TPX. But even if you don't have Market Snapshot, highly beneficial to hook up your MLS. It's not a deal breaker. Even if your MLS is one of the few that is not supported, it's not a big deal because that's only maybe 5% of the CRM functionality anyway. But that being said, it's a great bonus to have it. So all you do here is click on Add MLS Credentials. Search for your board by name. I highly recommend trying to narrow it down. And let's say we're with North Carolina Regional MLS. We just click on it. And then we enter our MLS ID number here, whatever that might be, that we use to log into the MLS, and click Save Credentials. And then it should take you back here and say the status is valid if it is. If it isn't, feel free to give us a call. Or if you're having a hard time finding your MLS board, it might be going under a slightly different name than you're used to. Or maybe, like I said, maybe you can't get your credentials to validate. Either of those issues, just feel free to contact us. We have lots of information about the MLSs on our side that we can use to help you get that set up as soon as possible. And so that's going to allow you to, like I said, not only take advantage of Market Snapshot, but also use some built-in features such as property insights, which is great to keep track of all the different properties your buyers are inquiring about and interested in and things like that, all the way up to the point that they actually make an offer on something. Then you can also use it for the transactions management system, which allows you to pull in the MLS data to give you a head start on those MLS or making those transaction records. It's going to keep the listing status up to date for you automatically as well. You can still use transaction management without MLS connectivity though, so don't worry if you can't connect yours. You just have to enter it manually, but the rest functions exactly the same. So guys, up next, Task Plans Manager and Template Library. Just to very briefly touch on these, because these are two advanced features that we unfortunately don't have enough time to really cover during a general getting started show. But that being said, they are excuse me, I can't speak right now. I meant to say they are extremely powerful features. Task Plans Manager is for putting together different task lists. So maybe you have a series of tasks that you find yourself doing time and time again for new lead follow-up, after sale plans, transaction checklists. You can turn them into plans that you can apply as many times as you need to. So there's contact plans, there's transaction plans, such as a buyer under contract checklist. These are just some built-in ones. As you can see, I've started to customize this and make these dependent on the key dates of a transaction. So that way, no matter what transaction I apply this to, it's going to adapt to the key dates of that specific transaction. And it'll also update itself automatically. If, say your inspection date gets moved back by 2 days, not to worry, that will update along with that automatically to always be, for example, 3 days before, whatever that is. So they adapt in a very smart way there. There's lots you can do with this. Guys, like I said, feel free to dig into this. I would recommend maybe after, about a week in or so of using Top Producer X, maybe take one more look at this, as well as the template library, which is where you can configure all your email templates. There's a bunch of built-in ones. You can make your own. You can base them off the built-in ones, or you can just make your own from scratch. Okay. And, name your templates, select a category for organization, email subject, and then you create the actual email content. Lots and lots of things you can do with this. You can do, quick templates to follow up with your prospects. You can do something that is, like a newsletter style email. There's tons of possibilities with this, guys. It is all just whatever you make of it, right? So if you want to learn more about those features, feel free to join us on Thursday for 4 things you want to know after you set up TPX Show, or just, give us a call. And then really quick to touch on team management. This is for team leaders and brokers using Top Producer X. If you've purchased multiple licenses and you want to create users for your whole team, this is where you would go. You can see here I have these agents here, and then I have one unused license. So I can use this unused license to add a new agent. So you'd enter their name, email address at least, and then set a username and password for them. And then, you could let them know what that password is, or they could just reset their password from the login screen. And then there's also permissions and rights. So access data, delete and merge data, export data from Top Producer. So this is very, very important because this controls what your agents will be able to do in the system. So access data, contacts, transactions. If you enable this, that allows this agent to be able to see everyone else's contacts and everyone else's transactions. So if you don't want that, please keep that off. If you want an agent on your team to handle a transaction though, not to worry, you can just manually add them to it and then they'll have access to it. So that's how that works. Delete or merge data. If you turn this on, that's going to allow this agent to delete contacts and notes and tasks and things like that, and merge duplicate contacts in Top Producer 8i. So if you don't want that, just leave that off as well. Export data, if you turn that on, that's going to allow this agent to export contact data from Top Producer 8i Classic. So if you don't want that, just leave that off as well, and then save that agent. You can always come back here anytime to edit their permissions, just with a little pencil icon. You can send them a quick email if you just need to touch base with your teammates. And you can also just delete that user. So if you have a team member leave your team and you want to free up that license to replace them, you can just click the trash can and then choose who you would like to assign all their outstanding tasks and contacts and things like that too. So if you do need another license for your team, feel free to reach out to us in the chat. We can get you in touch with someone and go from there. So just excuse me just for 1 second here. Just need a little bit more of a little coffee break. All right, so up next is texting, guys. So texting, in case you weren't aware, TPX has a built-in texting feature. It's free, it's unlimited. You get your own texting number that's assigned to you automatically. It should be in the same zip code as your own. So we can't unfortunately let you use your own number because that would mean that, we have to impersonate phone numbers. That's not something that we want to do. That's not something that our partner for this texting service would do because that's something, that scammers and spam callers and stuff like that do, right? So the next best thing is that we give you a number in the same area code. All you do is enter your cell phone number, then click Save Texting Setup. You'll receive a message on your phone asking you to reply with confirm, and that just links it up. So reply with confirm, refresh this page here, and then you should have your new texting number available there. So feel free to jot this one down. Feel free to share it in your email signature. Feel free to advertise it on your website, your business cards if you want. And that way, if someone contacts you, they call you, it's going to actually route to your regular phone, so you won't miss any phone calls. And if they text you, you'll get a notification on your phone that says, you have a new text message from so-and-so in Top Producer X. Click here to view it. It's going to open Top Producer X on your smartphone, where very soon, once we launch an update, hopefully in the next few weeks, you're going to be able to easily reply from your smartphone and see that history there. And of course, you can also view it right from your computer and type messages right on your keyboard if you want as well. So great, lots of value in this. You can take advantage of texting templates as well. Just please note this service for now is only available in the US, just because of our service for this, I believe, is US based. That will probably be changing in the future though. So Canadian customers, we love you guys. We're from Canada as well. We're in Vancouver, BC. We would love for you to have this feature. So just please stay tuned a little bit longer while we get that sorted out. So last but not least, we have UI settings. So this is where you go to actually customize the colors of your contact types. So if I go back to my contacts page here, you'll see that I have these all color coded, and for my contact types, past client, buyer, currently listed, all that kind of stuff. You can customize the colors in any way that you want. So here's a list of all the ones that I currently have customized. Some of them come pre-customized. If you don't like them, you can just change them. It's not a big deal. You can add a new color. So if there's a contact type you want to customize that's not in this list yet, just click Add New Color. Search for that. Let's say I want Home Inspector to always be an orange color. I can type in Home Inspector and then click on orange, and you'll see that customizes it. Or I can customize it even further with a color dropper and make it the exact color that I want and fully customize that and save the color. And then there it is in the list right there, Home Inspector in orange. So then whenever I search for home inspectors, they all have that orange tag on there though. And as you can see, I've tagged them all as non-client, which is what you want to do for your vendors and other agents, is set them to non-client and then use contact types to narrow them down further. So that way they have a place in your database. You can even list them as like a participating party in a transaction record, for example. And you can even just, let's say I need to contact Jim Har. I can just send him an email and be like, hey, Jim, need to book an inspection. Let me know, whatever you want to say, right? And send off that email. And like I said, there's value in that as well. You can have everything related to your real estate business in your CRM, including the vendors you work with. So just a little tip there. And actually in the chat here, Lori's got a question. Lori's saying, is there additional charge to use the new system if we switch back and forth between ADI and the new system? So Lori, as I mentioned near the beginning of the show, no additional charge. You can jump in any time. It's just simply the newest version of Top Producer CRM. Just over time, software companies release new versions of their products, and that's all this really is, to be honest. Just a new version, more modern, easier to use. In my opinion, looks nicer and more sleek, and lots of new technology here. For security and speed, integrations with Google and Microsoft and Apple and things like that. And new features that were never in ADI at all, including property insights and things like that. So yeah, no additional charge there, Laura. You can jump in anytime. If you're in Top Producer ADI, oops, I didn't mean to go to YouTube. Let's try that again. If you are in Top Producer ADI, just click on the TPX button across the top in the menu bar here, and that's just going to get you logged in. Just like that. So I hope that helps, Laura. I definitely recommend checking it out. We have tons of other resources besides the show as well. and I'll make sure everyone knows where to find those before we finish up today. Yeah, so that's it for the settings, guys. Most of it, at least, the core settings. So now that we have an idea of what each of those settings do or does and how to configure them, let's talk about importing contacts. And so, Laurie's saying thank you. Yeah, no problem. So importing contacts, guys, obviously contacts are everything. You want to get your database in there as soon as possible. So whether you have a spreadsheet to import, maybe from your MLS, maybe from a previous CRM, or maybe just something you put together yourself, chances are you can get that imported. And it's just very important to take your time with that import process and make sure that you're doing it as accurate as possible. So I'll show you how to do that. And then also we have our contact sync feature, which allows you to connect to a Google account, Office 365 account, iCloud account, and pull in those contacts automatically. So let's say you have a bunch of contacts on your Android phone. Chances are you're probably already synchronizing that with your Gmail account. So then you can use your Gmail account as a middleman to pull those contacts from your phone to your Gmail to your top producer. Same thing for Apple and iCloud. So let's show you how to do that. I do recommend that if you want to do both, that you always start with a spreadsheet, because that's your bulk import. It's just going to throw everyone from the spreadsheet into your system. If you activate your contact sync after that, and let's say there's some crossover there between what's in your spreadsheet and what's in your email service, then the contact sync actually does have a built-in duplication checking. It'll try its best to prevent duplicates from being created. If you did it the opposite way, unfortunately, you wouldn't do that, just because importing from a spreadsheet, it just isn't able to check for duplicates. So I always recommend starting with your spreadsheet if you're doing both. So guys, settings in the bottom left, import contacts, fourth option from the top here. So what we do is we do choose file to import, and then we find that on our computer. Just give me a sec here while I try to find that. All right, so I found the file on my computer here. So I just use this fake name generator one. You want to locate that CSV spreadsheet file. If you don't have it saved as a CSV and it's just a regular Excel file, you want to open that in Excel, save as CSV, which is comma separated values. It's just a very simple sort of database spreadsheet file that you can make on pretty much any computer, Apple, Windows, etc. So just find that file, double click on it to open it. That's going to upload it. And then we have to go through the step here, and this is very, very vital. So I highly recommend not skipping through this. So right off the bat, there's contact status and contact types. In case you weren't here near the beginning of the show, just to reiterate really quick, contact status is your pipeline stage. It's just your basic big bucket of where your contact is in your business, how close you are to making a sale with them. New for brand new leads, engaged for leads you've followed up with but not yet qualified, future for future prospects, active for current clients, current opportunities, and closed for people that you just closed a transaction with. There's also inactive and non-client if you ever need those. Contact types allow you to narrow this down further. So let's say I have my database from over the years. It's just like 90% just my sphere of influence. I probably want to select future, and then I probably want to search for sphere of influence. And that's going to save me time, because if 90% of my contacts this is relevant for, that would be the best way to go, right? Because then there'd only be 10% of them that this isn't suitable for, and I could just clean those up, right? So if you're importing a list of all past clients, you probably want to do closed, and then maybe past client, so on and so forth, right? So we'll stick with the example of sphere of influence for now. And then guys, field mappings, this is the most vital part here. On the left, it shows you what's in your spreadsheet. These are the column names. So as long as your spreadsheet is formatted properly with headers, they'll show up here. If they're not showing up here, but you're sure you have those headers set up correctly, just make sure that there's not one column that's missing a header, because if even one is missing, it can throw off the whole thing. If you're 100% sure it's all, set properly, you might have to try and cutting that content out of your spreadsheet, pasting it into a brand new spreadsheet, and then saving again, and usually that will work. But anyway, on the left side, this shows you what the column name is, and it shows you the first 4 entries in that column, so that you kind of can get a feel for what that is actually, what column that actually is. Excuse me, guys. In most cases, you might see it be not mapped, which just means it wasn't able to identify it on its own. Not a big deal. Sorry, excuse me. My apologies, guys. So it might not be able to identify that on its own. So given name, well, we can take a look at that and see these are obviously first names, right? So let's go ahead and click on this and then select first name. So we're telling Top Producer where to put the information from our spreadsheet. Surname, well, that's obviously last name, right? So we'll do that last name. Street address, so that's the number and the street name. We can click into the list. I'm going to click S on my keyboard a few times and jump down to street/address and select that. And then, city, we can hit C for city, state, zip, etc. Right? So you want to just match this up as closely as you can. Find the appropriate option. Email address, telephone number. If you only have one, I would say probably safe to choose mobile phone because chances are most people's phone numbers are going to be in their mobile phone, right? If you have phone 1, phone 2, phone 3, you can select, mobile phone, home phone, business phone, etc. Email 1, email 2, email 3. Email 1, you probably want to set to email address. Email 2, you could do other emails. Email 3, you could do you can use, I think, other emails a couple times if you need to. Occupation, job title. So they might just be going under different names, right? Every spreadsheet is different. They might refer to things under different names, but in the end, they might be the same, right? So if you have something in your spreadsheet that's like a tag or a label or a contact type, you can actually map that directly to contact type. So if you have your contacts labeled as buyer, seller, past client, realtor, vendor, that kind of thing, you can map this directly to contact type, which is going to save you a ton of time, instead of adding them manually in the system. As you can see here, I have them separated with a comma. If you have them separated like that, it'll actually tag them with multiple types, which is really great. So I highly recommend you do that if possible. If you have something in your spreadsheet that is like a notes section for your contacts, you can map that to add to contact notes. So just a heads up, it actually starts with an A. It's not just notes, it's add to contact notes. And guys, contact type and add to notes, you can use multiple times. So if you have multiple categories that you want to tag your contacts with across different columns, you can do that. If you have multiple things that you want to throw into the notes section, you can do that as well. And sometimes this is useful if maybe you can't quite find a suitable field mapping for the information you want to input. It's best to at least add it to the note section so that it's there. It's better to have it there than not at all, right? So you can use that as many times as you need to. In this case, I have individual contact types already in my spreadsheet. I probably want to go back up to the top, remove sphere of influence, because this will tag everyone. And now I know I don't need to do that because I already have them categorized in my spreadsheet. So I'm going to remove that. That would just be redundant. And then I would go ahead, review this 2 or 3 times. If it takes you 15, 20, 30 minutes, not a big deal, guys. In the long run, it's worth it because this is your business we're talking about here, right? So you don't want to you want to make sure this goes as smoothly as possible. You can import contacts when you're ready, but please don't hesitate to reach out to us if you'd like someone to reference on this. If you'd like someone to walk you through this process, bounce it off. You want to ask, oh hey, what should I map this one to? We can definitely help you with that process to make sure that you have what you need there. But once you're sure, just click on import contacts. That's going to take you back to the import contact screen. It should say that it's in progress. It'll say 0 at first. Please don't worry. That'll actually update once it's done. You can click check status every once in a while, or just go to your contacts page in the top left corner. And then let's say you import it into future. Just click on your futures tab along the top here, and you're going to see that number going up likely. And you can click around and see your contacts. I recommend reviewing some of them. Maybe start at the top, just grab one at random even. Click on their name to open their record and just review and say, okay, the name is right. Phone number is in the phone number section. Email is there. Address, contact types. Just make sure that your data mapped to where it was supposed to. Because if you find out early that maybe that email is accidentally in the phone or something is off like that, you can always give us a call. We can help you undo that import, and then we could help you redo that import if necessary. But that's why it's vital to make sure that you do it as accurately as possible the first time, just to so you don't waste your time, and hopefully that doesn't lead to any frustration as well, right? Yeah, so that's how you import from a spreadsheet. You can import multiple times if you need to. If you have multiple different lists you want to import, you can do like your past clients separately. You can do your sphere, maybe a list of leads you're farming, that kind of thing, and put them exactly where they need to go. Then if you want to bring in contacts from an email service, like I said, we do have contact sync. Third option down in the settings. This allows you to link up an email account, as I mentioned. So once again, you'll want to verify where it is that your contacts actually are located. So if you have an Apple iPhone, you probably have an iCloud account set up. There's a good chance that your contacts are already synchronizing to that iCloud. You want to actually use your iCloud address then. So I recommend logging into your iCloud account. You also have to verify that you actually have an iCloud address, because many people just log in with like a Gmail address or something. That's actually not the one you would want to use. If you do that, that'll actually pull in your Google contacts. You may have 0, right? So you have to log in your iCloud, create an iCloud account if you don't have one. You'll actually have to create an app password, which is a one-time use password. Apple does have a guide on their website for that, but I highly recommend that if you're an Apple user, that you just give us a call. It's going to simplify this process a lot. We can help you get that set up. If you're a Google user, let's say you know for sure your Android phone is syncing your contacts to your Google account. Or if you want to verify that, you can go to contacts.google.com. If all of your contacts are there, that's a good indication that that's the right account to use. So guys, take some time, think about which account you want to integrate here. It's going to pull in all of your contacts from your email service. It's going to keep your Top Producer X up to date. You can even add contacts from Top Producer to the sync and make them go to your email account the other way. And so this is great because if you have the same email here that you are syncing your contacts to you from your phone, as soon as you add someone new to your phone, they're going to be in your Top Producer in no time automatically. So great asset to have. Just fill in your address, authorize, follow very similar steps to the contact sync and email integration that we showed you earlier. And within not too much time, that should bring your contacts in. Just very vital to make sure that you are integrating the correct account here. So once again, iCloud users, you don't want to do spencer@gmail.com. You'd want to do spencer@icloud.com, but you have to have an iCloud account set up, an iCloud email account set up in your Apple account to do that. Yeah, so contact sync, great way to supplement your account. Some people say, well, hey, I don't know if I want thousands of my contacts in there, that are maybe not related to my real estate business directly. And what I usually say to that is the advantages usually outweigh the disadvantages, because you can categorize them, you can move them out of your pipeline, or you can just leave them in future. It's not a big deal. They're kind of part of your sphere, right? If you come across any vendors, just recategorize them to non-client, tag them with what they are. And then, if someone ever becomes relevant to your real estate business, great. They're already there in your system. You can just switch them to the right status, tag them, and get going with prospecting. So hopefully that shows you guys some ways to get started with your contact database. Once again, anything you've learned here today, can definitely give us a call to learn more about. But before we finish off, I want to talk about the follow-up coach, which is a really great built-in feature that's going to help you get on track with your database and stay on track with it. So as I say in this slide here, follow-up coach, I like to think of it as your portal for staying focused on your database, from starting off, cleaning up your database, recategorizing records, or also and just legitimately reaching out to people. The follow-up coach has you covered. And it's a great way to just stay diligent and have an area of focus. 5 contacts a time is the core concept. You can use it for more than that. You can use it for less than that. But I highly recommend, and actually we just at Top Producer in general recommend 5 a day, very healthy amount of contacts. And before you know it, you're going to make a huge dent in your database. And it's going to give you such an edge over your competition in your area that is not doing something like this. Believe me, I've seen many times that, people just need an area of focus. They're not sure where to start. And the follow-up coach is a great answer to that. So to get started with the follow-up coach, guys, after you import your contacts, please just wait till the next day. Then it'll kick in, and then going forward, it'll have 5 suggestions for you every single day. Click on your contacts button in the top left. And then along the top menu bar here, let me just reset this. So along the top menu bar here, you'll see your pipeline new, engage, future, active, closed, follow-up coach. Click on that. And this is where you can come to see your 5 contacts that it has selected for you automatically. So guys, if it doesn't know where someone belongs, it's going to ask you. So for example here, future contact, Willie Burrows, last touch January 11th, schedule a follow-up to ensure imported contacts don't fall through the cracks. So what it's really saying is Willie was part of a bulk spreadsheet import. It doesn't really know if he does belong in future. So maybe we look at Willie and think, wait a second, he's a past client that I closed with 2 months ago. Let's click on his record, and it's going to say update their pipeline status, contact type, and who they should be assigned to. So what it's doing here is helping you build good habits in a good database. And then once you start to get your contacts on track, the suggestions are actually going to be more relevant to real like follow-up suggestions and not just cleanup. And so that's the nice thing is it's a combination of both. So it helps you get on track and stay on track. So let's take care of all of this at once. Let's go down to edit contact. Blue button at the bottom. Edit contact. Scroll down to contact status and types. Let's switch him to closed. Let's tag him with past client, get him categorized in our database. Maybe he was a past seller. Maybe he's a family friend. I can go ahead and do that. Anything you think is relevant, right? And then save this contact. And, take a second here. What else can we do? Important dates. Maybe we want to add his, home anniversary or like closing anniversary, right? And then maybe that was on, let's see. Oops, let me retry that. Maybe that was November 1st. I can go back and select that. Maybe I want to put the year in brackets there so I always remember. It's going to remind me annually that was his closing anniversary. Save that. Adds a little keychain icon in there. Maybe I want to add his birthday so I have more opportunities to reach out to him, right? Who knows? Repeat business, referrals, maintaining relationships long-term in real estate is key. Some people work off referrals only, right? So let's say his birthday is June 7th. I select it there, save that date. Now I have 2 great opportunities to reach out to him. Wish him a happy birthday, wish him a happy anniversary. So just like that, you can see how minimal the effort was there. Add the contact types, switch his pipeline status, add some important dates, and let's do mark done, right? We've done all we can, haven't we? But wait a second. This is where it's going to ask us, how did you reach out? Well, we haven't reached out, but maybe we should. Maybe this is a perfect reminder and opportunity to do this. Let's back out. Let's go to emails, and using our newly integrated email, let's click on compose email, maybe access a template in the bottom right corner. Let's do maybe a general reconnect right here. Hey, it's been a while since we've touched base. Just want to see how you're doing. If you have any questions about the market, feel free to let me know. Hope this note finds you well. Send email. Boom, just like that. We've did that effortless touch on that past line. We're going to be able to see if he's opened the email or not with the email tracking here. If it switches to a green eye, that means he's viewed it. And then we can go ahead and mark this as done. Tell the follow-up coach we sent an email. Sent general reconnect email. And then we can schedule our next move if we want to. We can schedule a call, appointment, or to-do with Willie. And maybe we just want to say to-do, check email history. See if he even opened the email, right? I can set that for, let's just say, the weekend, and then save that wrap up. So just like that, I've taken care of all that at once. The follow-up coach is satisfied. That task is complete. He is marked as completed in the follow-up coach, and I can blast through my other 4 contacts. And so, guys, I think you kind of understand by now that if you were to do this, like I said, you're going to make a huge dent in your database. You're going to make sure to update records that need some attention, and you're going to make sure to service your clients to the best of your ability. Here we see a past client closed. It's reminding me to send them a market snapshot because I haven't. So I can keep top of mind with them. I can send them maybe a quarterly market snapshot report that keeps them up to date with the market, show them what their home, similar homes are selling for, so they can see how their biggest investment is performing, every quarter or whatever I want to send it to them. So it's just great because it's going to, like I said, help you get on track, stay on track, and just be thorough in your service to your clients, reap every possibility of repeat business, referrals, and help you with your prospecting, guys. So if I have to leave you with one thing, or if you have to take one major thing away from this today, get into the follow-up coach, do 5 a day, and I think you're going to be very, very pleased with the results. So guys, that's all we have time for today. Want to thank you guys for joining in. And just one last thing, show you guys where to find some other resources. So besides this webinar, we do have everything from quick start videos to other shows, YouTube channel, live chat. You can call us, so on and so forth. So here is some links for you, and they're also in the live chat. Marvin will have that for you there. So YouTube page, youtube.com/top producer software. That's where you can find all the recordings of our quick start videos, our webinars like the one you're watching right now. So great, very support and knowledge oriented on our YouTube page. You can join our Facebook user group at facebook.com/groups/top producer software. Join in the top producer community, chat with other agents, chat with us, stay up to date with product updates, maintenance notices, tips and tricks, and more. You can access Top Producer Campus, which is for all of our articles, videos, and webinars. It allows you to go in a variety of different learning directions. So topproducer.com/campus. You can also access that from the top right corner of your CRM. So on the campus page, you'll find the webinar schedule as well, which is our events calendar. You can view other webinars. So if I click on this, you'll see what this looks like. Oops, I apparently entered that wrong. So I'm going to have to fix that. But let's try this again. Okay, so campus/events calendar. So you know what? Let me just change that right now. Why not? Let me update that. Or not. I'll have to fix that later. But anyway, you guys get the picture. So I'll fix that later. But yeah, so you can see our events calendar. You can subscribe or register for other shows. Maybe you want to learn about upgrading from Top Producer 8i Classic to X. Join in our show tomorrow with one of my colleagues who will be covering that. Just register on Zoom to join in. Or if you want to join Marvin and I for 4 things you'll want to know after you set up TPX, make sure to join on this one on Thursday. They're always at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard. You can join here. You can also join on YouTube. I do recommend joining through Zoom if possible, though. And if you have any questions, you can, of course, contact us at customer care, which you can contact us via phone, live chat, or email. So once again, guys, live chat in the bottom right of your CRM or any Top Producer product. Click on the little button there in the bottom right, and you'll connect with a rep. Give us a call at 1-800-830-8300, Monday to Friday from 7:30 a.m. till 4 p.m. in Pacific Standard Time. And you can also reach our help desk at support@topproducer.com. Once again, they are unfortunately very backed up at the moment. I do recommend you reach out to us by phone or live chat for now for immediate support, coaching, tech support, questions, billing inquiries, all the above. Our customer care team is here to help you. Just give us a call, guys. And so that being said, that is all we have time for today. Thank you so much for joining Marvin and I. Welcome to Top Producer X. Really excited for you guys to dig in further and get started. Get that competitive edge over the other agents in your area that are not doing something like this, and getting that bird's eye view of your business, being able to jump into your contacts, view all your history, maintain relationships, build new relationships, and just be open to as many business opportunities as possible. And that's what Top Producer X is really going to allow you to do, guys. So get into the follow-up coach, work your 5 a day. There's plenty of time to learn more. Focus on the basics for now. If you need any help getting your contacts imported or anything else, give us a call. We'd be happy to help you guys. So that being said, once again, thank you so much for joining in. This has been Spencer with our customer success team here at Top Producer, joined by Marvin from our research team. Good to have you guys here. See you on Thursday, I hope. And until then, take care. Welcome to Top Producer, or welcome to Top Producer X if you've just made the switch over, guys. We'll see you soon. Thank you.